Clerk, we have quorum. All right. Today we're about to start our second budget hearing for Monday, September 29, 2025. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Chernoff,
Here.
Commissioner Florimon. Here. Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Smuggler,
Present.
Commissioner Sue, Vice Mayor Daniela Jean. Here. Mayor Michael Joseph.
I am here.
You have quorum.
Okay, let's do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Before we open up for public comment, I'm going to say that I'm going to take a point of personal privilege of doing an October 7th resolution because we're not going to have our meeting to the 21st, but I'll read it after we finish our legislation. But that was because of, and Yom Kippur is next week, and I just wanted to, I felt it was apropos, and I spoke with Commissioner Smuggler, and she said it was the right thing to do. So we're going to do that when we finish the legislation. That being said, Madam Clerk, can you please open the floor for public comment?
Good evening, everyone. The Mayor and Commissioner of the City of North Miami Beach has opened the meeting for public comment at this time. There is a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Speaker, when you're called to the podium, please state your name or the name of the organization which you are representing. The Mayor and Commissioner of the City of North Miami Beach recognizes the importance of civility. The City of North Miami Beach requests that all in attendance to exercise civility towards each other. And please speak only on the subject matter that is being presented. Our first signed speaker is Karen Harold.
Hi, Karen Harold, resident of North Miami Beach. When I looked over, hi to everybody, and welcome, and thank you for all the service and what you do for us. When I looked over the proposed budget, I don't see a whole lot for the residents. Oh yes, there's beautification, improved and cleaner roadways, but we've been hearing these same promises for years. Looks nice in writing, but you can't tell in action. Even coming here, the speed bumps on South Glades, I think they were replaced only 2-3 years ago. One broke right away, was supposed to be replaced, never was. The one at the beginning towards Miami Gardens is broken, and only really one good one that was put in recently closer to the park. 171st, coming over from 15th, the lines on the side of the road are very faded. So, anyway. More money is put for IT when our city is decreasing population. Why does this item keep going up? Can't we make better what we have already, work more efficiently? I notice what I look like, a good part of the budget going for increasing employees. Why? We aren't growing and at any rate to warrant this. Why not see what issues are occurring in the departments and make them more accountable to our elected officials who we look at to have the wheels of our city government working efficiently, not just adding more wheels to keep the same size vehicle moving forward. Why are we allotting almost $200,000 for 2 events? Does this represent our diverse city and looking out for the residents in a fiscally responsible way, especially when we have our 100 years coming up? Why is so much money going to the city manager's office? We need accountability, transparency, and our financial reports done on time. Are you trying to reward what appears to be mismanagement from the top? Maybe put more into picking the next city manager who's qualified to run a city like ours, not create a larger office with more positions so more items can fall through the cracks. Please don't increase our taxes when the budget is full of areas that could be trimmed. The top rectangle of the manager and commissioner area in the budget graphic is the residents of North Miami Beach. What are we getting? Raised taxes, some promises said each year, and not followed through on. Larger employee payroll with falling population. Population in 2024 was 43,269. In 2025, 43,104. But our government is growing. Community development budget for salaries and related expenses looks like exploding. I sure don't see the residents being looked out for. What you're doing by approving this budget is just taking our city further into debt and open to more areas of mismanagement with ever-growing city government. Whatever programs you start or new positions you fill, remember, these will have to be budgeted in each year. Please put a budget together that will work, help us dig us out of the hole we were in, and not just dig us in deeper. Thank you.
Okay, next speaker.
Nancy Donahue, and then Susan Sanders.
Good evening, everyone. Good seeing all of you again. One of the first memories I have of my father,
Speaker, excuse me.
one of the first memories I have,
Speaker, can you please state your name for the record?
Nancy Donahue.
Thank you.
North Miami Beach Public Library. Okay, I'll do that again. One of the first memories I have of my father was when I was about 5 or 6 years old. Hand in hand, he and I walked to the local library in Mount Vernon, New York. This was my first time inside a library. When we returned home, I was carrying several library books. I remember the tactile sensation of handling those books, and it was my first introduction to literature and to the written word. My parents would remind me that when I was in high school, this time in the Bronx, I would go to the library every week and come home with an armload of books. I do remember that my favorite genre was the biography. I was always curious about what turning point, what fork in the road altered the trajectory of a person's life. My point is that for most of us, the library is such an integral part of our lives that we don't think about it that much until we realize that we can no longer take our precious library for granted. There are several reasons for this, and budget restrictions is one of them. The concept of a library has itself been at a turning point, at a fork in the road. Just based on my observations whenever I'm at the library, there are the requisite borrowing of books and DVDs, classes for kids and adults, including seniors, art exhibitions, well-being programs, book sales, citizenship classes, and cultural celebrations that commemorate our diverse community. It's an all-around refuge for people from all levels of society. As a kind of community center, the library is the great unifier, the great equalizer. The support of our library is one of the most important investments we can make, the effects of which will continue to unfold well into the future. Please consider this as you negotiate the allocation of this year's budget, maybe while hearkening back to your own first visit to a library. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Wow, I wish I wasn't such a shorty. Susan Sandus, I'm with the NMB Library Friends and Book Club, and was the director there for 21 years. Not the director, I was there for 21 years in a variety of tasks and programs, adult services, reference work, and for a few years as the manager. And I would like to say that my best times, and they were never work, that old saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, were when I actually worked the reference desk and got to handle a wide range of questions, from children to teenagers to young adults struggling to find the job of their dreams or how to get a good education, to grandparents looking for information about a grandchild who was born out in Montana somewhere and has a serious health problem, and they needed information so they could understand. But I'd like to say to you, all of you, and many of you have supported the library over the years. You've given big pushes and little nudges, and you've been there for events. You've made our presence additionally known in the community to the people you work with and talk with frequently. And when I glance over here at my side and I see how many people in City Hall we had a chance to work with, it was truly amazing. There have been some very, very talented people and very giving people. I hope that you will keep in mind the values that public libraries have for people of all ages, for families, to make this a community that's really attractive to young families, and they see that they can get what they need for their children and for themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Norma Fuentes. Norma Fuentes. Adair Galvin. Brianna Galvin. Norma Fuentes. Adair Galvin. Brianna Galvin. You can't hear me?
Well, the system is facing.
Okay. Carmen Rantis. Louise Harkness.
Hi, Louise Harkness, North Miami Beach. I'm with the Friends of the Library, and I'm not really going to talk about that because I sent an email to everybody here and only received one reply, which is the norm. Everybody says, email us, we'll answer you, we're going to address your issues, but we never get an answer. So if you decide to read my email, you'll see what my issues are. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Next speaker.
Irene Pellinger. And then Bruce Lamberto.
Good evening, Irene Pillinger. I'm with Friends of the Library. I'm also on the library board. I've written and met with each one of our elected officials this year to discuss my concerns regarding the library. More recently, I wrote to all of you about the budget, but the response, for the most part, was disappointing. Our representatives tell us that, of course, I support the library, and I'm sure each one of you thinks you are supporting the library. But when it comes to budgeting limited city resources, the picture gets murky since there are so many varied demands on the funds. Remember that a library is no longer just a place to get a book. It is so much more. Each person who goes to the library may be going for a different reason, for a different resource. All of them are valid. The library is an equalizing place. Those who don't have Wi-Fi at home could hop on our free trolley and access the internet at the library in order to do schoolwork, apply for a job, or simply connect with faraway friends. Those who want to try something new can find a class at the library while meeting new friends and learning from each other. I could go on and on about what our library offers, but I only have 3 minutes to speak. I've heard for months about the need for new shelving for the children's room. This seems to be missing from the CIP projects. Perhaps it's under something else. I couldn't find any message, any listing of this, but it is a desperate need. And the renovated bathrooms is an absolute necessity. It does appear on the CIP list. I did briefly speak to the manager. He said the number is being corrected because the cost of the bathroom is more than what was listed on the presentation. And I just want to tell you, I had the pleasure of working on arranging donated books with a new volunteer one recent rainy afternoon. But how, I wondered, did my new friend access the bathroom while in a wheelchair? There are 2 doors to go through before even getting to the stall door. How did we already spend $8,000 on city permits, and now we don't have enough allocated for this in the CIP list? Is the city in trouble? Have our funds been mismanaged? Turnover in the city manager's office can be a sign of trouble, and we've had so much turnover these past few years. I'm so proud of the hardworking library staff. Each member goes above and beyond, as you saw downstairs. And can I just have another half a minute? I have full confidence in Dr. Hernandez to lead and nurture and develop her team. I have full confidence in her experience, leadership, and understanding of the needs of the community and how the library can best cater to those needs. Out of all the city employees, I hope that she is the one looking at the budget and prioritizing the various needs of the library. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Bruce Lamberto. And then Jeb Hanworger.
Afternoon, Mayor and Commission. Bruce Lamberto, Eastern Shores. I'm here tonight because I'm echoing what the first speaker mentioned about this budget. I've never seen anything like it. You know, I've been involved in the city for 30 years or so, and I've never seen it get this bad. We had a couple managers back when we had Mr. Scott as manager. We had Jacobs take over our water plant. We had $38 million in reserves when they took it over, when they started, and we had zero 2 years later. I see this commission doing the same thing. We had a bunch of reserves built up. Now we're using the reserves to fill the gaps in the budget. We're spending more than we're taking in revenue. And it's very irresponsible to do that. Again, this hiring spree that I've heard about, that I don't get it. I mean, you know, this is not the Friends and Family Plan. We're an employment agency for all your relatives. We can't keep on that pace. So I wish you guys would knock that off. And every one of you know who I'm talking about. So it's more than just one or two people. It's a bunch of people. Promotions, raises. This is not what this is supposed to be about. You're supposed to be responsible, fiduciary, responsible people for our money, our taxes. Mr. Mayor, I talked to you about this issue with this 10% senior discount that you're given. I mean, you do this all on your own in a vacuum, and I'm really surprised the commission allows you to do it. I mean, nobody thought this out. How are we going to give discounts to apartment buildings and condos where we have one water meter? Half the people are over 60, and the other half are just like our audience here. How are you going to give those people that discount? And what about the financial impact? You know, several $1 million, you know, of this. We have the issue with we just got rid of our water restriction, justifiably so, but it cut our revenue another $1.5 million. So here it is, $3 to $4 million already gone out the door. Nobody thinks about this. And then you go over to Miami Gardens by yourself or with Commissioner Smuckler, and
Excuse me, I wasn't there, so I was going to make things up.
Whatever. And I'm
Mr.
trying to,
Lombardo, just be germane. Please not singling out if you can. Thank you.
okay, all right. You went to speak to Oliver Gilbert and company, the Miami Gardens over there, by yourself. You know, you should have. You run this. You completely circumvent the PUC. That's what they're there for. We're 7 people that sit up there just like you, and we vet anything that involves the water. And we're getting bypassed all the time. You guys you're making these decisions. You don't have the financial information to back up the decision. And that's why I would really appreciate it in the future. Any more items like this, you run it by the Public Utilities Commission for a recommendation. After you receive that, you'll have you do what you want with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Jeb Hanwarger,
Yeah, we did.
and then Trish Miller.
Hello, Jeb Hanwarger, Monticello, resident north of Miami Beach. I'm concerned about the budget. I'm concerned that we're not lowering the millage rate, especially with today's time, because there's a lot of families and permanent homestead residents that are dealing with the economy, and that money could provide a lot of relief for them. So I'm asking for maybe us to reconsider and to lower the rate, not really for the Airbnb investors or the commercial developers, but if there's a way that we could specify homestead residents that we could provide relief to them. It's not a lot, because you're getting the bulk of that revenue if you look from the commercial properties and the investment properties and the commercial properties. The real relief that we're looking at is for the residents. And you know, right now there's a lot of concern about the spending and the increase of the budget since COVID. We're up to like 72 million. Before COVID, our budget was like 49 million. And there's too many people making salaries of like 250,000 plus at the city level. It's just too much of that top heavy There's definitely ways that we can cut. Another question I have is the mayor and commission had a budget before COVID of under 500,000. Now it's close to 1.5 million. So where is that extra $1 million that the mayor and commission, where's it going for? Is there more employees working with the mayor and commission? It would be nice for the residents to see a line item. Also, there's a section, government non-departmental. We see a huge increase over the past 5 years in that. We don't really know where that money is going. There's no sort of line item. And right now, we're just concerned the residents that, the taxable values have gone up so much, and there's been such an increase in budget. And, they are going to give the city, people that are working for the city, they have an agenda, okay? They have a conflict of interest. Their job is to get higher salaries and better benefits. But you guys have to work for the residents. And the residents right now are saying,
15 seconds.
there's too much waste, there's too much budgets increasing, and our population, as Ms. Harold spoke before, is declining. So we have to think about, why is the budgets going up so much? Why is employees, like our full-time equivalent employees, have gone up so much, but our population's declined? Thank you.
Your next speaker.
Trish Miller, and then Diane Doolittle.
Good evening. My name is Trish Miller. I was thinking back about Kenan Thompson, who was on SNL. And he had a skit. And in the skit, he basically said, "Fix it." And every time I fall into a pothole, and every time I go into the bathroom in the library, and you can't even get in there. It's an old, nasty bathroom that needs to be refurbished. Every time I get on the senior bus and the people can't get onto the senior bus, and it's rickety and it's old, and it takes 60 people at a time on a field trip. These are people that use the facilities. These are the citizens that live in North Miami Beach. These are the ones who pay and paid for years into the system. And they deserve to be taken care of. We need to fix it. We need to get a better bus. We need to fix the restroom. We need to go where the people go. And unlike some of my friends, I like to see the trolleys. The people use the trolleys. If you need a trolley, there it is. I mean, I think that's a good use of money. But we have other things that need to be done for the residents. And I'd just like to see the money being put in the hands of the residents for the things that they use. I loved the bicycle program when it existed. And I know it didn't work out that well, but it was a great program, where people could, pick up a bicycle and then put it back, the one that Tony had. I thought that was great. I just want to see the money used where it's needed. I need to see the money fixing things and being there for the people. And we have some great programs. Our library is phenomenal. Our senior program is phenomenal, and I think credit where credit is due. People do a wonderful job in certain areas. But that's where I want to see the money, and having it all go to one thing or having huge budgets that we're not seeing line item. I mean, I'm on some other committees where we have a line item breakdown, and we see where the money is. But a lot of it's just like they don't call an O2 fund, but where it's discretionary. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with these discretionary funds. Anyway, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Diane Doolittle, and I'm a North Miami Beach resident. I just wanted to see, I know we're taking some funds from our emergency and putting it to cover line budget items that we had. We had a surplus last year. You're taking those emergency funds. They're supposed to be for emergency. If you ran your household like that and didn't keep your emergency fund well funded, you would be in trouble in your own private home. I presume each of you have a home that you are responsible for. Well, you should think of our community as your home too, and you should budget for it like you would do for your own home. I got my property tax bill, and although I've been here a long-time resident, my taxes are not that great, but I understand some people's, because of their value, have very expensive taxes. But I see if our tax rate was 6.1 mil, and that's what we had last year also, and that's what you're proposing this year. But the value of the properties have gone up. Now, if you rolled to put no changes to the budget, our tax millage rate would go down to 5.69. That would help people tremendously, not just with a water credit of a homestead property of $20 one time. That's not going to help anyone, and it's not going to help evenly across the board. As they've pointed out with people who live in condos, it's not going to help at all. And somebody hand me a $20 bill, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference to my budget either. So I would just like you to think that, that you think about all the excess that could be cut. No one likes cuts. I don't like it in my own home when I have to substitute one thing for another because of the price. But we all have to think about that. We want a good place for our employees to work. We want to retain good employees, but at what cost is what you have to figure out. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Leslie Sardinia and Mr. Kazan.
Leslie Sardinia, Eastern Shores. I had a big weekend. My sister had a party at my house, and I really didn't want it there. But anyway, I'm here. When it comes to the budget, I agree with Bruce Lamberto. I agree that we should have a full public accounting of the city budget, our priorities. I feel that police and library, those are important things for our community. But I feel like the mismanagement is like, we don't know where our money's going. And I do feel like when I read things, it feels like there's money here, and yet when we need it over here, it's there. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's wherever we need it, it seems to be that's where it is. I don't know how we're doing everything with the city manager to be able to have interim, all the different things going on with that. So I feel like that's a true mismanagement. I believe city attorney, there's a lot of things going on wrong with that. I think we're not listening to Lynn Sue enough. I know I've listened to her. And I think we need to pay attention. She is smart. She could be the senator of Florida. She's got that going on. And I feel like she gets passed by. So I just feel like there should be a public accounting of what's happening here. We pay a lot of money. My neighbor pays over $100,000 a year in taxes. And yet, Eastern Shores, potholes, everything like they're saying. I just feel like it's going to places that it shouldn't be going to. It should be going to parks. It should be going to libraries. It should be going to our police. And we know, we see it. We see the line items. So we're aware, a lot aware, but not everybody can appear here every time. But we are aware. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Mr. Kazan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mubarak Kazan. To get a good bang for a buck, we need to bring back the city attorney's office in-house. We need to bring back sanitation in-house. And we not need to outsource the library, as some of you are planning. We do not need to outsource the theater, as some of you are planning for years now. Outsource the theater. So that no bid ordinance that you came up with, that suits some of you really well. However, I've been looking, February 2022, I came to the sanitation presentation that you had, and it says this coming year, we would be paying $15.6 million for coastal. I looked in the budget display that we have on the website, and you're saying $6.15 million. That comes from the Public Works. That Public Works controls that. Who are you fooling? That is a full $9.5 million. Our budget for this city coming up for 2026, over $250 million. That budget is larger than many countries around the world budget. Many countries, think about it. $250 million US. And what you people are doing, you're pretty much mismanaging most of it. You're not here for the people. The renters are punishing. Even though we don't have the renters coming and complaining, their millage rate affects them a lot. And with you increasing the millage rate or not carrying it down, they're suffering, but they're suffering silently. But I want to remind them, they're voters as well. So come next year, speak up. If you like the budget, vote them back in. If you don't like the budget, vote them out. We've had the unrestricted funding, the unrestricted balance fund, okay? We started off at 18.5 million. And then we got down to 16 point something million. Now we're down to 4 point something million. Listen, I know some of you want to make the mayor looks good. You want to make the commissioners look good, but you have to be truthful. You have to be truthful with your presentation. Last presentation, you zip it through in seconds. That's more than $250 million you zip through in seconds. We want time to be spent on this budget here tonight, in depth. I'm leaving this spreadsheet that I got from Public Records of the 15 point something million dollars it would be costing us in the year coming up. This year is for the commissioners, and this year is for the CFO. If you can print that out and let them see. 15.6 million, not the 6.15 million. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Gazan. Any more speakers?
That was the last time speaker.
Okay. Now we're going to legislation, resolution 3.1. Mr. City Attorney, could you read that? Oh, do I have a?
Did that just make it worse for you guys to see? Because I see you all going. Oh.
I told them that I put the since Mario was here and they never changed it.
Okay. Yes, I have a motion.
That hasn't been changed in a while.
I have a motion to introduce, motion and seconded.
Okay, then 3.1.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, go ahead.
3.1, resolution number R 2025-145, adopting the final millage rate for fiscal 25-26 fiscal year, brought by the Budget Administrator, a resolution of the Mayor and Commission of the City of North Miami Beach, Florida, establishing and adopting the final levying of ad valorem taxes for the City of North Miami Beach for the fiscal year 2025-26, commencing October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30, 2026, in the amount of 6.100 mils, which is 7.18% higher than the rollback rate, to balance the general fund, establishing the rollback rate to be 5.6914 mils, establishing the debt service millage rate at 0.200 mils, providing for implementation, providing for conflicts, providing for scrivener's errors, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Okay.
This is second reading.
So this is the part of the millage rate. Last time we voted on it, initially before we got to the budget, because it sets the platform. So I don't know if anybody has a discussion on.
I'll say one word. It was a 6-1 vote. I voted against the millage rate, and I'm going to vote against it now. I don't understand why this city isn't tightening up their belts, as every single household has to, and giving a break to the residents. I don't understand. When you look at what they get in other cities and what their millage rate is, shame on us. Shame on us. So I just want to explain it. My answer to this millage rate is going to be no until I see it going the other direction. Thank you.
Okay. To be clear, we're not raising, we're just keeping it flat, following the standard of the county as well, and pretty much everyone. There's consensus between all, like, not raising them, so like I said before. Any thoughts? All right, do I have a motion?
Motion.
I second it. Madam Clerk, can you do a roll call?
Commissioner Chernoff? Yes. Commissioner Florimon?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith? No. Commissioner Smuggler?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jean?
Yes.
Mayor Michael Joseph?
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. Next item is, do I have a motion to introduce 3.2, Resolution 2025-146?
So moved.
I have a motion to introduce. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Manager. Or, no, read it to the record. Sorry, City Attorney, read it into the record.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 3.2, Resolution Number R 2025-146, adopting the final budget for fiscal year 2025-2026, brought by the Budget Administrator. A resolution of the Commission of the City of North Miami Beach, Florida, adopting the final annual budget for the fiscal year commencing October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026, authorizing the expenditure of funds appropriated in the final budget, acknowledging the levy and collection of taxes on real and personal property and other revenues necessary to meet the expenditures provided in the final budget, providing for the authorization to reappropriate capital outlay lines and encumbered purchases in the 2024-2025 fiscal year to the 2025-2026 fiscal year, providing for transmittal by the city clerk, confirming additional powers and conditions, authorizing encumbrances and carry forward, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Andrew Plotkum, Interim City Manager. Thought I'd take this opportunity to present the second hearing of the budget. We're going to go through a presentation. A lot of these presentations were part of the first one. However, we do feel it was important to just go over that and then view some of the changes that we made from first to second. Okay, as we can see, our ad valorem revenues are $34.7 million. General fund overall revenues are $75.8 million in revenues. Our property taxes, 46% of that make up the general fund. Budget adjustments after the first hearing. As you can see in this slide, we found some savings, some reductions in the Mayor and Commission office. Some of these are just transferred over. We thought it would be better to have it all located in one spot under the manager's office, but I'll go through it. Professional services was decreased, shifted to the manager's office. Special programs was decreased by $10,000. Travel and auto decreased. Promotional activities decreased. And overall, I would call it a decrease by $250,000, but some of $260 was shifted.
I have a question about why we're reducing the amount to the Chamber of Commerce.
Do you want him to finish up the presentation?
Yeah,
Yeah, just if you
Well, I want him to address that.
Yeah. I'll have
Good evening, Mayor and Committee.
ACM.
So during the exercise of identifying through different departments what opportunities were available, either to create reductions or to add line items that didn't previously exist, in this case, it would be the Haitian Chamber. You guys tend to support annually, but there was never an allocation for them. So instead of increasing, we moved over some of the funds from the chamber to do that, as well as recognize the partnership that we established last year for MoCA Museum.
Okay, but that still doesn't answer why did we remove it from the Chamber of Commerce, who's in our community and been supported by this commission for as long as I've been on the commission.
That is the justification. Instead of adding additional funds being pulled from general fund, we use that line to create new lines for organizations that you also support.
Okay, I'll put on the record that we should put it back to the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
Excuse me, Councilman, just to point out, I mean, and I'm sure you know from your long service.
If you can
You are
speak into the mic, it will become a record for the rest of our lives.
Mr. Kazan, please, with all due respect. Thank you.
All due respect as well. I've been saying this for years.
Go ahead,
Commissioner, I'm sure you know this from your long public service. Just let me point out that, of course, you or any of your colleagues are privileged to make a motion to amend what's in front of you, should you so desire to do that.
So you can hold that point, and once the presentation is over, we can have further discussion.
I'll make the amendment.
Okay, we can add. Okay, please, City Manager.
Okay, moving on to the manager's office. We see that we increased contingency by $50,000. Our lobbyists increased $260,000, but didn't really increase. It was just a shift over from the mayor and commission's office. And then contingency for the lobbyists, another $140,000 was an increase. As we know, we're going into another, I wouldn't say battle, but we're going into some trying times coming up. From our IT department, we were able to identify a savings, $75,000 in data processing equipment, salaries and part-time, $30,000. So there was a decrease overall of 105 that we were able to identify from IT. Those were some of most of the departments. We're going to go into our general fund, the $87.8 million, and how it's spent. As you can see, salaries and related overall is 53.6. Our operating expenses are 18.6. Capital outlays 65. Non-operating contingency 443.5, and inter-fund transfers about 15 million. So total general fund expenses add up to the 87.8. The majority of this, obviously, we know is due to salaries. And just a small graph of the workforce trend over the last 4 years, and increase about 12%. So balancing our 87.8 million in expenditures with our revenues of 75.8. So you have the general fund revenues of 70.7, the general fund expenses of 87.8. So the operating recurring difference, we call deficit difference, is the 5.5 that we're using in our fund balance, unrestricted fund balance. And obviously the CIP use of non-recurring reserves of 6.5 to fund the CIP projects. So that's a total of the $12 million covering the gap with the reserves. This next slide is basically the same information. You can see the expenses, the revenues, and then the balance remaining balance of the 12 million covered by the unrestricted reserves. Here's a graph that just shows you the recurring gaps between the revenues and the expenditures. As you can see that since 2018 all the way to 2000 where we are today, there's always been a gap except for 2024, and we continue to strive to tighten that gap, maintaining the city services as well. Here's the key factors driving the reserves. Pension contribution requiring us to keep it at the 70% funding level. That's 2.5 million. We had to move some beautification employees over to the general fund. That was 1.3. Our increase in economic development division, so we can have a real, and this is going to benefit us moving forward, but we can have a real economic development structure of 900. And our increased costs for debt services. So those are the driving factors, as well as ARPA no longer being available for the CIP funds. Here's these are key capital projects. These items right here represent the 85% of the 6.5 million in the CIP projects. We went over these before. The restrooms for the library are on there at 350. There seems to be a question about difference in about 100,000. However, as we move forward, we will address any differences. Obviously, we all know, and through your direction, that the library bathrooms and the library is a priority. Next slide is just a breakdown of the 54 million fund balance. You have the general fund balance. You have the restricted impact fees. You have the committed disaster recovery, meaning these are restricted. They cannot be touched unless there's a disaster, and then we can tap into those. You have assigned, which is the CIP, claims, workers' comp, and subsequent appropriation that we're doing, and then unassigned, which is the 17 million, and then we also have 16 million that are restricted. That's the 20%. Well, the restricted is the 17 million restricted, meaning we don't touch that, and it can't be touched. I mean, it can be touched through your whatever, but that's not what we use. 20%. We keep that for a rainy day. So here's how the unrestricted fund is dropping from 16 to 17 to 5. You can see the 12 million, and we've talked about that before. That's just between the gap in the fund balance. I mean, the gap in the general, and then the. Oh, sorry, we could keep up. The gap in the fund balance. The 5 million, and then the CIP projects. Now, in fiscal year, we have an estimated 4.8 million unrestricted moving forward if the accounting ends up being as it is today. We can close the gap stronger. We've talked about budget controls. That's just a little slide, reminder. We'll move on from this, but this is something that we can work on in the future to help close gaps moving forward. And we will do reporting and enforcement on those controls. How the 87.8 million is distributed across departments: the police department at 32 mil, governmental and non-departmental 21, public works 10.6, parks and rec 7, library just under 3, finance just under 3, city managers under 2, mayor and commissioners 1.5, planning and zoning 1, human resources under $1 million, economic development, the new one, or just kind of putting together 900. Legal is contract 870, procurement 850, city clerk under 800, code compliance 7.3, communications 700, and our BTR is at 400. Building to fund balance versus state limits. This is the building department. We talked about that, them being over in their reserves. So there's basically $5 million above the legal limit. And what the state code says, what we can and can't do, reduce or rebate permit fees, facilitate construction on improvements only for code enforcement, technology and equipment upgrades, and training for inspectors and code officials. What we can't do with those monies is use for general government purposes, police, public works, planning and zoning. NMB water fund is stable, but reserves are slowly declining. You can see that FY25 was 9.7, FY26 just under 17. We're using 2.8 in reserves for the water fund. So January 21st, 25, ordinance was adopted, surcharge repealed. This is not outside the 25%. August 25, billing system was corrected. And FY26 moving forward, your annual revenue about $2 million to be molded into the rate study. So this is something you guys adopted earlier. Took the team a minute to cancel it. So we had about $2 million that we need to, through your direction, we'll find out where we refund credit, and we put that $2 million. We talked about the Water Relief Act, 2 relief programs, the 10% on bill discounts, up to $100 annually per qualified customer, and the auto pay up to $50 annually. Funding commitment up to $1 million each, that's $2 million. The sewer fund is stable today. It might be pressures ahead. If you look at those numbers, ending fund balance FY25 is 12. Ending in FY26 is 10.8. We can keep the system stable, but we do need to make some adjustments, and we will be bringing that to you. Now, this is important because this is something that North Miami Beach does not control, the county wastewater rate pass-through. That's going to impact our residents. So through code, we adopt Miami-Dade's wholesale water rates. FY26 increase is 19%. The customer impact will be obviously higher bills beginning in October. And the most important point about that, this is county-driven. NMB has no discretion over this. The county sets the rate. So final slide, the citywide budget, $253 million for FY 2026. We can go through that. I went through most of the lines, but the general fund about $87 million. That's the bulk of it. You can see the overall bottom line at 253.386,985, and you all can see that, and I'm going to go over line by line with you, but that's our citywide budget, $253 million. All right. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. Again, I apologize. A lot of these slides and information was presented during I don't want to apologize, but was presented during the first hearing and a lot of it through our workshops, but it was important to just re-say it again.
Okay, so before I'm gonna go left to right because I know you have made your thoughts. Commissioner Smith.
Well, I see a lot of doom and gloom in this budget. If you look at the bottom, we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. We're doing things that are going to cause more problems in the future. The building fund is over the statutory gap and must be corrected. I see a lot of doom and gloom. I have to tell you, Mr. Mayor, you mentioned that I'd vote no for the budget.
Oh, not all the time.
Well, here's the thing that if I could share with the public my feelings on this whole thing with the budget. You know, we wanted to be transparent. We wanted to pass something that was transparent, and we're waiting months to pass it. Waiting months. We finally get a hold of it, and it doesn't apply to here. We're hiring more people. We went from 450 to over 500 people in a couple years. We're not a rich city. We're not. So the fact is, when you hire somebody, you have to let somebody go. You can't, when you come to work for government, you start maybe when you're 28, maybe you're 32, and every year you get an automatic raise, which is right. It's the right thing to do because the cost of living goes up every year. But if you're here year after year after year, at the end of 10, 20 years, does your salary compensate for what you do in the city? Maybe that person needs to be moved to a greater responsibility so that we don't have to keep hiring. What I see here is once you hire somebody and you say, listen, their salary is $62,000. No, plus pension, plus their vacation, plus their insurance. So I don't mind being the bad guy. I don't mind it at all. I know one thing. All my years, the budget's kind of a pretend. If we need it, we'll just grab it. If we need to move money, we'll move it. Who even knows? And now, I think we are out of control. I think we're out of control with the number of employees. I think we have more employees and we get more complaints. I've been here 17 years with a 2-year break. We get more complaints how bad the city looks. You're correct. How could that be? How do we keep hiring? How do we keep paying? Wait a minute, we're not competitive. We have to pay more. But then if we're paying more, could we see the results of the work? So I have to tell you, my whole thing about this and the library, I apologize if I didn't email back. I spoke to many of you about the library. I give personally out of my contingency to the library. I give personally. But you know, people come to the theater maybe twice a year, maybe 3 times. People come to City Hall because they have a complaint maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. Maybe they want to pay their water bill, they come every 3 months. But the library, people go day after day after day after day, and they bring their friends. And if you go to the functions and you see 200, 250 people, you recognize what took so long to realize the bathrooms are disgusting? What took so long? What took so long to say that we can't fix the door, that we have to have cones, and people say, how do you get in? Look, this is my call. This is my call. This is important to me because I know when you run a household, you recognize where it's important. If the washer and dryer breaks and you have 4 kids, you're in big trouble. If you have a spouse, unfortunately, that has to use a wheelchair and you don't have a ramp and wide enough doors, you're in big trouble. We're in trouble because where the money needs to be spent, where we need to see it, where we need as residents to feel it, it's not happening. It's not happening. So I'm not on a soapbox. I'm just telling the public how I feel, and I'm going to explain to the mayor, which I respect, why I'm voting no. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Flourmont.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to ask about the library because this is not the, first time that we've seen this, in the budget. But yet, what I'd like to know is how are we planning to accomplish the construction this fiscal year for the restroom remodel?
This director?
What is it? Well, not only from the director, I mean, from, I think.
Is it Public Works and the director? So we'll bring Dr. Hernandez.
Well, this is
this-
construction related.
Well, can I say one thing? This has been going on for a long time. I think a lot of times we put money into the library, capital improvements, and we all support the library. That's been very clear. I think getting to the point of actually doing the construction and everything else, that's taking time. But we're trying to do a full force effort and really doing it and not waiting as costs have continued to go up. That's why we want to be a little bit more aggressive. And Dr. Hernandez, this has to be explained to a lot of these residents that feel very confident that that feel that we're not doing enough. But I need you to take a leadership so you can explain to them that we're doing a full force effort, because I think a lot of times they feel that it's not being done, but we're trying to put money to this as quickly as we can. And so please explain to them if you can. Thank you.
Yeah, so,
that one question.
right, because it says construction here. And so, Commissioner Smith echoed the same sentiments. I just want to hear.
I just want to hear 1 minute of your time, Mr.
Sure,
Mayor.
go ahead.
I just want to add, even if I vote no, could I please have the shelves? I want the shelves, even if I vote no. Could we put that in the budget? Because
yes.
I've been hearing about the shelves for 5 years. Could we have the shelves too?
Understood. But Director, please, because the thing is, we get this a lot.
I'm actually seconding the shelves.
We get this a lot.
Like, seriously.
We get this a lot that we're not doing it enough. We get the emails, and I'm trying to understand where the confusion is. That we're not really like we don't really love the library. It seems that it comes across every year, but we're putting a lot of money and resources in the library, and you see this for yourself. So can you please educate the community? Thank you.
Well, first on the bathroom, ARPA funding for the bathroom was for $100,000, and it included the design and architectural plans for it. No, yeah.
All right, cool. So we have been hearing the complaints. Oh, sorry, Gregory Christian, Public Works. So we have been hearing the complaints, and we went on an aggressive move to get that project designed. We are working with a company that completed the design, so we're 100% completed. We're going through the permitting process, and Public Works, as well as the building department, we're putting our resources together, and the library department, to make sure that we get that done as quick as possible. So that's where we are. And now moving into the new fiscal year, we are trying to get the funds to get the construction done. And that has been budgeted for, and City Manager's office made it clear that no matter what, we're going ahead with that particular project. Along the way, with construction, there may be adjustments that will be made, but we're going ahead with that project.
Director Hernandez.
And I want to say, like Gregory said, we have moved ahead. Today I paid for the Miami-Dade permit. That means we already have our building permit for the city, and today I paid for the county permit. So that is in process. We have chosen finishes. We have done the legwork. I think the concern was the bottom line, because at the beginning of September, we received in writing, because before it had only been verbal, a higher cost for the building. That being said, the city manager's office is willing to support that item.
Yes.
I would say, because of you choosing to support the building grant that we're going for, the larger amount in writing would be better, because that may mean that if we do get the building grant from the state, then they will match what we're saying it cost.
Right.
So that's a recommendation based on the bottom line, which would allow us to do more.
And
what is that number?
Well, go ahead, because
That's $500,000.
So that's why we're trying to get a matching fund. So like I said, there's a lot of confusion. Like I said, we've heard a lot of residents in regards to the library saying that we're not fully doing the best we can funding the library. Director Hernandez, what is your assessment? Because you heard these individuals volunteer their time, their precious time, their resources, but it seems that it's this disconnect that we're not doing enough.
So yes, what happened is that our budget was cut for books and programs and things like that, which are things that help us serve the community. However, the city manager's office is going to work with us to put those funds back and have the reductions from another location.
Yeah, but to the point, the library obviously is special to this commission. I've been here 7 years. I've heard it not in my capacity as interim, but just over the 7 years. So there were some reductions made to a lot of departments because obviously we see the gap that we're filling. The library had some adjustments made, and working with the department head to realign those adjustments. But overall, the library's budget has increased. There's not when I say cut, we're talking about cuts of an increased library budget. So we're arranging with the Dania to shift those dollars where they need to be.
Commissioner
Okay.
Forma.
Yeah, so thank you. So that 500,000 number, you're working right now to assure that we get to that number? Is that what you're saying?
The number we need with the updated quote that was received earlier this month is 450. I think the grant was up to 500,000.
The grant is over 500, so if we show something like that.
So we would be coming back or asking whatever if you're going to make a motion today to increase that line item by 100,000.
Yeah, I think that's something that we as a commission need to iterate.
No, when we vote, we can actually
right.
There's certain amendments that so.
Aside from that, thank you so much. Aside from that, I wanted if you can for the public just go over this county wastewater pass through. If you can elaborate on that as well.
So the county passed an increase to their wastewater. Let me get it here. So the county's wastewater, which are whoever's on sewer, that goes through the county from us. So they increased through the county, an increase in their wastewater by 19%. So that's the county increasing their rate, which our sewer, whoever is on sewer, that passes through and goes through the county. So having said that, that's a county rate, the county's sewer system that we pass the water through. So that increase is a county increase that gets passed through to the residents.
Okay, and I know that Commissioner Chernoff had brought up the chamber, so I also echo that as well and support that. And so that's it for now. Thank you.
Commissioner Smuckler.
All right, thank you. I want to apologize for not responding to the emails for the library. I was away, then I came back for Rosh Hashanah. I cleaned, I cooked, I cleaned, I went away, and then I vegetated for 2 days, and I just came back to work today after almost being gone for 2 weeks, having closed my office for almost 2 weeks. So my apologies for not getting back to those emails. The library has always been important to me. I remember I was in I think it was in elementary school, and I was on maybe I've said this story before. I would volunteer at the library, and my father had a clothing factory, and I made him, the poor guy, I think about what I made him do. He came home really late. He made us all banners. He had a clothing factory. He made all the children volunteers, and we had a thing that said library, and it was really cute, and we were so proud of it. And I always took my kids to the library on Saturday. In the summers, we always participated in the reading programs. We always got free tickets to the Marlins games because of it. Always, in fact, my granddaughter, the baby shower for my granddaughter was library themed. and every person who was invited was asked to bring a book as well. So library has always been important. Reading has always been important to my family. And this thing with the bathrooms, like, it's been so many years, but like, we have the same problem with Washington Park. How many years ago was that promised? 20 years ago? Okay, the bathrooms are not going to take 20 years. I think, I promise. But I don't know if I always respond with the answer, government is slow, and it shouldn't be like that. And it's not just our city, it's like that in everywhere. And the bathrooms down here, that was one of the very first things I voted on, was the bathrooms down here, and that was 7 years ago, and now it finally got built. So let's just please, let's do these bathrooms. There are little kids here going to these bathrooms as well. We need safety, we need security, and we need them to be ADA as well. So I'm always everything for the bathrooms. And how much are those shelvings?
I wrote it down here, 35.
$35,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I added it in my notes, and I was going to bring it up when you all, but thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I guess I would have to make a motion. Okay, okay, all right, let me write that down. Okay, so, all right, so I just want to, and I also, not only do I give to the library my contingency account, but I also been giving for the last year or the year before to the Friends of the Library as well. Someone had mentioned that there's a few people making salaries higher than $250,000. I think it's just 2 in total? 1 or 2?
Not me.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't
So
know that there's anybody. I don't know that there's anybody. So, right.
50,000. Okay, so it's one person. It's not several. Okay, so one person is making 200,000. One person is making about 200,000, and not several are making more than 200,000. So another thing that I wanted to point out, that I know there's always that rumor that we want to outsource the library and we want to outsource the theater, but that has never come up. It came from up here when? Before we were here, maybe. Did I say it? No. Did Commissioner Smith say it? No. Did Commissioner Florimond say it? No. Did Mayor Joseph say it? No. Did Vice Mayor Jean say it? No. Did Commissioner Chernoff say it? No. So 6 people, and I'm sure Commissioner Sue didn't say it as well. So these 7 people have not said it. So if there was a previous commission that said it, oh well, they're not here. So too bad, so sad. Another thing that I wanted, okay, so we got the shelving. Okay, so that's it for now. No. I said, no one up here has ever been up here and said, none of the 7 of us, maybe a previous commission said it, but we have not said it. Do I think, and I will be very clear, do I think that maybe outsourcing the theater might work out? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I'm not saying that it is. No, I want to be clear, because I did have that conversation with you, that I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. But I'm not saying that I'm doing it. But no.
But I want you
to be
please clarify.
I did have this conversation with him, and I do want to clarify it, because he's going to come back and say that I said it. So, but I'm not saying that it's going to happen, and I'm not saying that 7 people are going to agree on it, and I'm not saying we're going to talk about it today or tomorrow, and I'm not saying we're going to talk about it in my next year. So I'm not bringing it up.
Okay.
You know, because seriously, like sometimes you're just so full of it. I really don't care. I'm just sick and tired of his BS.
No, it's
I really
no,
am. He's accusing me of not taking his calls and stuff. I'm just really sick and tired of him. I'm just sick and tired of
We
him.
get back to the budget meeting, please.
He's full of it. Okay.
Well,
So
look.
anyhow, so back to the budget meeting.
Thank you.
I am not outsourcing the library, and I am not outsourcing the theater. Thank you.
Commissioner Smuckler, Commissioner Jean.
Thank you so much. I don't know if I'm going to be able to support this budget either. I have a couple questions. What was the carryover from? Was there a carryover from this year to this next upcoming year? What was that number? Our carryover amount?
7 million.
Okay. So even with the carryover amount, we still are tapping into unassigned?
Correct.
Okay, so when we get to the Economic Development Division, I'm looking at the housing services. I know a lot of cities who are entitlement cities usually have federal funding, state funding because of that entitlement designation. How are we funding? What kind of programs are we going to have under these particular, the housing, social services? I thought when the Economic Development Division was going to be formed, it was going to be a little conservative and we were going to grow it. But when you talk about housing, how do we plan to implement those without having certain grants?
There is a line item for a $250,000 home rehab to continue. That would fall under the housing.
So we're going to have full-time folks handling $250,000? I mean, I'll continue my questions. The almost $1 million to create a new department. I'm all things economic development, right? But I think that we need more clarity here to have a division that's going to have 8 or 9 employees. I think I know for the BTR, is that being switched over from community development?
I actually wanted to state that on the record. Business tax is identified as $423,000, and economic development is listed as $934. That would be an error because the 423 is coming from community development to economic development.
So
it's more closer to a $500,000 in this fiscal year.
So that's a huge oversight, right?
Yeah. Instead of it costing, because it's moved, it's being.
No, I'm understanding that, but what I'm saying is, so what's economic development's budget and what's this new department's budget overall?
If you give me a moment, I can get that number for you.
Okay. So nevertheless, again, with the housing, how do we justify these 2 full-time roles with $250,000 to spread over the whole city? How do we justify these roles with the funding that we have in place in our general fund for these programs?
In addition to home rehab, there's also financial literacy and workforce training programs that would fall on that side.
What are the line items for those?
I'm not sure if that was provided to you, but it was presented to finance.
But I mean, when we're approving an entire new division, I think it's fair for us to justify what kind of programs we're hoping to implement and what the funding sources are for those programs. So if you're going to have a housing program and you have only a quarter million to dispense across all of our residents, how is all these full-time positions justifying that?
Okay, so what was presented to finance was several programs, like I mentioned, for workforce training. I didn't do the math, I apologize, but I'm gonna read it off of the update that finance provided.
And I'm still also waiting for economic development and the total budget for them and the total budget for our community redevelopment division.
What was the last part? I'm sorry.
Community Development Division.
Okay, so what was proposed Our quarterly business luncheons, which would continue at $10,000 for the year. Workforce training program at $25,000. That would be opportunities for our residents to engage in some sort of technical field or program. There's a financial literacy and homeowners program that would be implemented at $10,000. There's a summer job fair at $7,500. The Miami-Dade Beacon Council renewal, which is something you championed, at $42,000. There was also a marketing/business development series that would be initiated at $15,000. There are some minuscule items such as travel for conferences and summits that have been approved previously, as well as printing, binding, postage, etc.
Where
And
do we
as
find
mentioned, the
that?
$250,000 for home rehab.
Where do we find that?
This was provided to me from finance. I'm not sure what document you received.
But was that provided to us, to the commission itself?
That would be a question for finance. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what was provided.
So what was the two totals for those two departments, economic development and community redevelopment?
I'm doing the math right now.
All right, so I just put that concern on the record that I'm not voting yes for this budget, but in economic development, we have so many of these new roles that you have all these full-time positions, but it's not justified. In my mind, it's not justified. So I just wanted to put that on the record. The second thing is the water rate information. How are we notifying the residents about the increase, the 19% increase in the county side, and how it'll impact their bill?
That's a county.
Right, but it's going to eventually.
Yeah, when we get the counties, we're gonna blast. We're gonna start disseminating that information. I know their budget was just passed last week, but we're gonna get that information out quickly to as many people as we can through our channels.
Right, so that would be my ask, is that we find a way to disseminate that information to the residents, even though it's not our decision per se, that they're aware of what's happening.
Absolutely, we're going to inform them.
Right, and then in comparison to the unassigned fund balances, the reserve is going down by $4.5 million. That's a hard pause for me, and that's why I'm voting no, because there's areas that I haven't had a chance to really dissect, and I've asked for more time, more one-on-one. That never came. But again, are we really being responsible in what we're doing with the amount of full-time employees, programs that we're adding on? A lot of these programs are duplicated. The library has, there could have been more ways to condense this so that it's more of a collective, other than adding more roles to the role where from a global perspective, we're going to have a lot of things coming down the pipeline that we might have to make more cuts in the year to come, right? So I'm just putting that on the record, and let's see how the rest of this night goes.
So if you go, because I know your thoughts, Jay, because I haven't, and then we can go to your amendments. So for me, thank you, everyone. Look, typically when you look at these types of budgets, and because I want to give everybody a more macro approach, is that the total amount of reserves that we had prior to the fact that we're going to the surplus reserve, because I consider it to be that, because the unrestricted reserve the restricted reserve that we have is about 17.6, I believe, or whatever that amount is, around that ballpark. That money is typically, on average, other municipalities around 10%. We're at 20%, even though we're going into the unrestricted reserve. So sometimes people get this confused that we're dipping into this fund that normally you don't dip into, but we've been because of what happened last year and the years prior, we've been collecting more and more and more and putting it into that fund without doing capital improvements and certain projects being fallen to the wayside, like beautification, road improvements. A lot of that's been not happening. People are not seeing the work get done. This budget is a little bit more aggressive, so we're trying to get a lot of stuff done, a lot of these projects from the bathroom. The CIP, a good chunk of that is going to our police. People, I mean, if you look at it, the CIP is mostly police. And, you know, at the very least, it's not my, I'm going to be very careful because last time I said that's the most important program. It's one of the most important programs because I love parks as always, and I don't want to have to buy pizza to make the mistake like last time, so I'm not going to do that. That being said, you know, security is very important. Without security, you can't really enjoy this city. So CIP, if you look at the budget, a lot of it is police. It's police. And that's certain improvements we have to do, and there's beautification, but the majority of it's police, and we need to, you know, we don't have the staffing needed, and we're trying to like change the course, and we're giving them as much possible. And I talk to the chief all the time. I said, "Do you have everything you need? Because I want to give you everything you need." And he can speak to that because I've had that conversation with him a lot and his deputy because I want police to be fully funded. Now, in regards to our beautification, that's something that we need to do a better job. I know that. We have to hire additional people because at the end of the day, like costs have gone up, and from just not from the manpower, but just cost of goods. And I'm glad that we're being very aggressive now because like we don't know what's going to happen a year from now. I want to get these projects off our table because a lot of these things have been going on for years and years and years, and I want to. The longer we wait, the more it's going to cost more. So that's why I want to see this move forward and actually get something done, and also to do it in our 100-year centennial because I want to have these. I want to be able to show to the community because we're gonna have a lot of eyes on us because we're gonna be celebrating that we're actually putting rubber to the ground and really making good faith effort. So I'm supportive of this budget. Nothing's perfect. I wish we could we can do a lot more, but I don't want to raise taxes. Nobody wants to raise taxes. Nobody on this commission wants to raise taxes. And this budget is cognizant of that fact. And so at the end of the day, it's like, it's a catch-22. There has to be a balancing act, and this is the best balance given the circumstances that I feel we can get. Now, I understand there's certain amendments, and I'm looking forward to those amendments or what have you, and that's part of that role. So, Commissioner Chernoff.
All right. First of all, thank you, Tariq. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, everybody who did go to their department and sharpen the pencil and try to get the numbers down and try to work with it better. I mean, everybody did put a lot of effort into it and that. But in that effort, I want to say that these last changes should have been brought to us first. So we should have seen it before tonight or before we looked at the email yesterday or something like that. Some of us were on Jewish holiday and didn't look at the, our emails and so on and so forth. And that, maybe then it would be easier and we wouldn't be criticizing and so on and so forth. And remember, at the beginning of the whole thing, I told you that I wanted to reduce, not to be status quo. But every time we did reduce when I was on the commission before, we do 0.25% and it would be nothing. Nobody would realize it because the county would increase and then we wouldn't see anything. So it's a catch-22 when we do it, but we're getting closer to the cap, which is 10, and we have a state legislature who's on top of us saying they're going to take the whole thing away. So we've got to be very careful and be very frugal and try to be more frugal. And I think that with the CFO position, we've been doing that, and we're holding people to task, and we're coming up with better ways to save and really what our picture is. And I appreciate that because, I didn't understand last week some of the numbers, and I sat down with Tariq, and Tariq, really explained it to me. So I do appreciate that. And let's move forward. And I do
as amendment,
as amended, I would put the $15,000 back to the Chamber of Commerce.
Do I have a second on that? Okay, so we're going to vote on amending it.
I'd like to add.
But
do we add an amendment each one? Because I want to add.
I want to see this before we do that. I know Commissioner Smuckler regarding the shelves.
I was going to do the shelves, amended regarding
so
the shelves.
Please, go ahead.
Well,
I make amendment to
you adjust. You have to adjust somewhere else so it still stays in balance.
No, I understand. No, well,
That's what I was going to ask. Where's the money coming from? For the shelves, and it comes to $50,000, so where's that coming from?
And also for the chamber.
Well, the chamber's 15 and the
So, but
shelves are
can we get
35.
to the what we're trying to amend and then work on?
I'm still waiting for answers to the question that I asked as well.
No, I understand, but like this, okay, we're adding the shelves and the additional $15,000, right? So.
No, not 50.
No, 15. I'm sorry. So, do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we're going to vote on amending the budget.
Hold on a moment, Mr. Mayor. Because my understanding was it was the, taking it from 350 to 450. Was that not the, for the
No, that's
library?
for the bathroom only. It doesn't include the shelves.
Right,
That's why
so,
we're adding the shelves. That's why we're inclusive of the shelves.
right, I just wanted to make sure that's also part of this motion.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying, Commissioner?
No, but we can add that for sure. I mean, I thought he already changed that in this, what we're voting. He changed it.
Yeah.
To 450, right?
No. We haven't changed it yet. We were going to.
Okay, so.
Okay, so we want to add that.
So,
Yes.
So we want to add.
That's why I suggested the
35 for the.
Shelves.
right, and then
So
the
it's
15 for the chamber. I think the total is 150.
150 additional, but then the attorney's saying you have to tell us where we're going to.
No, we have to, and then have that.
Okay.
So let's
Well,
just.
how can we vote on something if we don't know where the money's coming
No,
from?
but first we're saying if we can vote on the amended and then have a discussion on the funding aspect. So like,
I think you should
we haven't,
fund it first and then amend it.
but I have to give
Okay.
them a presentation of the total
All right.
cost.
Let me just go back to the city attorney. Maybe you can vote right now to give us the direction, and we can make this amendment and come back to you in November for the budget amendment. I think that's the cleanest, possibly the cleanest way to do it.
That'll be the
Joe, Mr. Attorney.
Certainly privileged to amend your budget throughout the year, following the processes to amend the budget. If you do anything, remember, the staff does not have the authority to change the budget. The staff can propose the budget to you, but you've already passed a budget on first reading.
Right.
That is your document. The staff has been working, and they can present to you, you could do this or you could do that, but only you can change what you've done on first reading, and you cannot do something that puts the budget not in balance. So if you deduct something over here, or if you want to increase over there, somewhere that has to balance out. More money for one thing means either less money for something else, or you do have the privilege to adjust what your expected revenues are. Keep in mind, those expectations are only estimates too. If you have some reason to be more optimistic about a source of revenue funding, you can increase that estimate. But in adopting your budget, it has to be in balance, and when you hit the end of the year, you must still be in balance. There's no deficit spending in the state.
No, okay, so just to be clear, just so I can be on the same, I just need to know what the total amount that that's in contention, right? So it's the shelves.
The shelves and the increase by $100,000 more for the
So
Yeah.
how much is that in total? Like,
shelves at 35, 15,000 for the chamber, and another 100. It's 150,000.
150 or 155?
150.
135 and 15.
155, right? Or 150? I'm sorry.
150.
I'm a lawyer, I'm a mathematician. So. That being said, so that's what we're all right.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, as the budget as amended.
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Not yet. I have my concerns that I need answers to.
I would like to ask a question, if I could.
Okay. I'll second that, but we'll go into discussion. So can you answer those, answer those questions?
So
Because we have a
under
motion and a second
economic
based on those
development,
amendments. Okay, go ahead.
100K is coming from the CRA. 450 would be used for programming, and 286 would be used for salaries. I apologize.
Real quick, what was the comparison between the economic development and the planning department? The two overall budgets. I don't know if, because you said it was not 900,000, right? It was below that.
Yes.
450.
450 for programming and 286 for salaries.
Thank you. I have one more quick question. Do we have a CIP manager currently or no?
No.
Are we interviewing? We're in the process of interviewing. We
That's in the
actually
budget still,
have an
right?
interviewing right now.
That's still in the budget. And then the 1.3
Yes.
million for the beautification, why were we moving it from, why are we adding it to general fund?
Which 1.3?
Well, just, yeah, well, hang on. Let the managers.
So it was moving those employees from the stormwater, which was in a negative, into the general fund. The finance department thought that would be a smarter move at the moment.
They added 3 to the
All right.
street crew.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Commissioner Smith had. Yes.
The amendment we passed.
Yeah, before, we haven't moved forward, Commissioner Smith, but go on. We amended the budget or to have an increase of those 3 items.
By $150,000.
$150,000. From my understanding, we're going to direct the city manager to.
I was going to ask you, as part of that, there's 120,000 put away for annexation, and there's a moratorium with the county. You can't annex. So why don't we use that 120,000?
That was addressed in the second phase.
It was deducted from that.
So
It
now
was already
it's-
added. My question still is, what is it that you just voted? To add these additional costs, which is about 100. That's what-
Contingency.
That's going to happen in November.
Say contingency.
That's why I'm asking.
Okay, so question, can I ask a question? The unrestricted reserves, right? It's still about 4.8, right? Correct me if I'm wrong? So can we not utilize the 150 to take it from there?
You can?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then that'll be
You
up.
have money in the budget.
The 4.8,
that says that it's unrestricted reserve.
150,
If
yeah.
you're funding what you're voting to do from that,
Yes.
then you're in balance.
That's what I'm saying.
To be clear, though, what you can't do, you can't vote to add expenditures now and say, we'll fund it in November. This budget tonight must stay.
And that's why we're going to pull it from there.
Right. So you should really revote and state that and correct it on the record. What you've done is you want to add the things you listed, restate them, and say
that it's coming from the unrestricted reserve,
Yes,
the 150,000.
That's why I rose.
Okay, so I'm going to wait for Commissioner Smith to return to have that, but basically that's what we're going to amend. So Commissioner Smith.
And then you can further amend it as you move forward if you find some other cut or some other revenue to restore reserves, you can do that, but what you pass tonight must be in balance.
So what I'll say is, what I'll do is this, I'll make a motion to say that we'll be funding the additional 150 from the unrestricted reserve.
You need to list what it's for.
And then that will complement his Commissioner Chernoff's motion, which would balance us out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If it's even.
Yes, it's even.
The amount you add,
Yes.
and you balance it, then it's in balance.
So I'll make the motion that we will balance the amount that was amended to the budget.
State it, please.
Okay, I make a motion to balance the requested amount or amended amount from the.
No, but list what I'm saying is, Mayor,
okay, so
it's clear.
Okay, the items are
The chamber for $15,000. The shelving for
$35,000
$35,000.
and $100,000 for the bathrooms.
Bathrooms.
And that $150,000 additional.
Please, Ms. Kazan, with all due respect, go on, City Attorney. Please.
He doesn't know what civility is.
Yeah, we'll get you back.
I understand what you've just said, Mayor.
Yes.
The motion is to add $15,000 back to the North Miami Beach Chamber, 15, FIFTEEN.
Yes, city attorney.
$35,000 to fund shelving for
Library.
the library, and $100,000 to add to the funds that are budgeted for the library bathrooms, and that total of $150,000 is to be funded from
The
unrestricted reserves so that the budget remains in balance.
Yes, that's my motion. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Now we're on the budget
Move
as.
to approve the budget as amended.
There was already a motion.
I'll second it. I'll open up for, allow you to have your point, Commissioners.
I just wanted to bring something up. I folded a lot of pages before you pass the budget and then adjourn. And one of the pages I folded was that you no longer can use ARPA funds. So, getting back to the bathroom. The bathroom was approved with ARPA funds, I think, 4 years ago. What I wanted to bring this up, because could we not only approve it, could we not only find the money, but could we be on top of it so we're not talking about it next year again?
Well, and that's what I would love.
100%.
That we do not hear it again, that those bathrooms are built.
But I'm telling you, it was in the ARPA funds when it was probably half the price.
It was
Probably
only
half the
for
price.
Design. It was not for construction. It was only for design in the ARPA.
Just one.
But we just heard that the design is done 3.5 years later. I'm
One
just saying.
quick point, Mayor, I just also want to just be, for clarity, because there's been questions about clarity, and I know the commission's desire is to be clear. There were some proposed budget amendments that the staff has been working on. I want to be clear that, if those are satisfactory to the commission, you can adopt them, but you have not, at least that I've heard, you have not voted to adopt the additional amendments that staff has worked on and recommended.
No, that's
No,
part of
we have.
That's part of
This
the
part
budget.
that we've amended. Okay.
No, sir. I'm sorry.
All right.
You have, let me say again, you passed the budget on first reading.
Yes.
That is your budget that comes to this dais tonight. The staff was asked to find some savings, and they've recommended a number of what someone called, I don't know, belt tightening, whatever they are. They have recommended things to you, but their recommendation does not mean they're in your budget. What's in front of you is the budget you passed on first reading. Only you on the dais can amend that budget with staff's recommendations unless and until you vote for those recommendations. They are not in your budget.
So, just city attorney, to be clear, right?
Yes.
From my understanding, that we were on second reading. They presented a budget. They presented their proposed budget tonight, right? Let me finish.
Sir.
Okay.
No, sir. They did not prepare. The budget in front of you on the dais is what you passed on first reading. They've recommended certain things that you directed them to look for, but for their recommendations to take effect, you have to vote to adopt them.
But we have a.
I think you're right.
We will, once you let us finish speaking, and then we're going to vote to adopt it.
You can't just.
Wait, but
I'm not being clear.
No, but city attorney. Okay, so
you have to amend the budget you passed on first reading with these recommendations.
Okay. So
then you can have a final vote.
Okay, so just to be clear. So okay. So I understand what you're saying. This is what we're gonna do. We voted on a couple amendments we were basing those amendments on the proposed budget. The proposal they gave us, not the budget. The proposal they gave us. Now, I don't want to we just did this. Now, how do we? So, what would be your recommendation, knowing that what we voted on currently to work this through?
Mr. Mayor.
Very simple. You simply, all you do.
I'm with you on that. I was just going to make a
Take
suggestion.
the proposal.
Mr. Attorney, give me 1 second if you don't mind. We've already made our amendments that came from this dais in the past hour, right?
Right.
The amendments that we need to make now are based on the new information that we've received from staff. So if we can just have a motion to accept the recommendations from staff this evening and add that to the budget, then we can move forward and vote on the budget as a whole.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I make a motion.
Okay, I second it.
All right.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. So it was
Just to be clear, that was a motion to accept the other recommendations that the manager
Yes.
put forward for
That's a no for
clarity
me.
of what you're voting on.
Okay, so it's
Retake the vote, I would suggest,
But
Mayor.
I want to ask a question. I just want to ask.
okay. So and we got a no from Commissioner Vice Mayor Jean and a no from Commissioner Smith. Now,
That's a motion to amend the budget on second reading to accept the other recommendations from the staff that are in addition to the ones you just adopted.
yes,
And the vote was?
4-2. Now we're on the actual budget. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We already did it.
You now have the budget as
Amended.
with two amendments.
Yes.
The amendment that of the staff recommendations and the amendment that you just voted unanimously for $150,000.
So moved.
Those are the two things
Yeah,
that
and I second.
amend your first reading budget.
Okay, so that's where we are. So Commissioner.
Take a roll call on that.
So
I wanted to ask, is this for the final thing already?
yes, this will be the final.
This would be final, second reading,
this isn't
approval of the
next-
budget
okay.
as amended, two amendments.
I just wanted an opportunity to ask a question, may not necessarily be about the budget.
Okay.
But there's a narrative out there, and maybe, Karen, I'm not sure if that's what you were alluding to, but there's a narrative out there that there was like 90,000 spent on a town hall meeting on Juneteenth. And can someone please, because I think something was maybe misleading in the budget, in the book about that. So can I-
Commissioner, so that number that was given was 197,000 was for the total mayor and commission and board committees events. That was the totality of it all. There was a reduction there was a reduction of $10,000 in total from those two. So yes, that is not for two events. That is the totality of all mayor and commission and board events.
Okay,
Thank you for the clarification. Now we are.
Do a roll call, man.
Now we're going to do a roll call. We have a motion and it's.
I don't think, can you clarify that the clerk got who motioned and seconded the previous?
I motion. I
motion.
and I seconded.
Okay.
The amended. Yes.
The staff recommendation.
Yes.
Including staff recommendation.
Now we're going to vote on the full budget. Madam Clerk, can you please do a roll call?
You had the motion from Commissioner Chernoff, and who
Second.
seconded?
I second it.
Commissioner Florimon?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith? No. Commissioner Smuckler?
Yes.
Commissioner Chernoff?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jean?
No.
Mayor Michael Joseph?
Yes.
Passes 4-2.
Okay, so now we're going, the next item is, I know it's for adjournment, but I have a moment of personal privilege.
I just wanted to let the public know there's out there that the police department does have in their budget buoys and the ring lines that you all had spoken about previously. So the ring buoys that go around the waterway that we presented, that was brought here as presentation, and buoys, that is in the police department's budget.
Is that with or without my contingency thousand?
It's in the budget, no contingency.
Well,
Well, you can always add. The question, do you have the proclamation? Yes. Okay, so I have a proclamation. It's a point of personal privilege for in regards to October 7th. Our next commission meeting is not till the 21st, but I'll leave. I spoke with Commissioner Smuckler through staff in regards to doing a proclamation and leading up to it. So Commissioner Smuckler, please. No, we're going to read it. Yeah, of course. and then we'll adjourn. Thank you.
I have to tell you, of all the proclamations we've ever given in North Miami Beach, this is one that is the most serious.
I think they were ready for this.
Thank you. Of all the proclamations we've ever given in North Miami Beach, this is probably one of the most serious, and the one that I hope not just as North Miami Beach hears, Dade County hears, Florida hears, United States hears, and the world hears. This is such an important, from all of us to every ear that will listen. Whereas on October 7, 2023, Hamas, a designated foreign terrorist organization by the United States Department of State, launched a brutal and unprovoked attack on Israel, killing, injuring, and taking hostage thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
And whereas the October 7th attack marked the deadliest assault on the Jewish people since the Holocaust, leaving families shattered, communities devastated, and a nation mourning. And
whereas in the aftermath of this tragedy, Israel declared a state of war against Hamas in defense of its people, while Jewish and Israeli families around the world, including many in North Miami Beach, faced a heartbreak of loved ones lost, missing, or still in harm's way.
Whereas the city of North Miami Beach, with its significant Jewish and Israeli population, stands united in condemning terrorism, anti-Semitism, extremism, and violence in all forms, while reaffirming Israel's right to exist in peace and security. And
whereas nearly 2 years later, the memory of October 7th attack remains an urgent call for justice, resilience, and global solidarity against terrorism as the people of Israel continue to face threats to their safety and sovereignty.
Whereas the city of North Miami Beach honors the lives lost, prays for the safe return of those still held hostage, and affirms its unwavering support for Israel and the Jewish community, both locally and abroad. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and Commission of the City of North Miami Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim October 7, 2025 as Stand with Israel Day in the City of North Miami Beach, and call upon all residents to join in remembrance of the victims of the October 7 attack, to honor the resilience of Jewish people, and to commit ourselves to building a future rooted in peace, justice, and human dignity. And I want to thank Mayor Joseph for originally bringing this forward. I appreciate it.
We were one of the first ones.
Yes.
We were the first one. You can speak to that.
And as a proud daughter of a man that left his country of Cuba in 1948 to go fight in the Israel War of Independence, I thank you all for being part of this proclamation. Thank you.
And I have to say, I didn't have a father. My father died when I was 1, but my aunt served in that war as well. And I just say our hearts break for all those. It was on last night's news, the man that was released as a hostage after all those, over a year, and he came home to find out his wife and 2 daughters had been killed. So 500 and something days, he was really in a cave with cockroaches and rats. And it's not one individual, it's every one of us have to live peacefully together. And thank you, Mr. Mayor.
No worries. Go ahead.
Take a picture.
Oh, you're going to take a picture. I want everybody to say some more. Go ahead.
Wow. Well, what I want to say is this is a time for us to really keep the nation of Israel in our prayers, those that are still in hostage, those that are still mourning the loss of loved ones, for us to keep our hearts and prayers together, especially across the world where it's a time of war in so many places. So our prayers go out to the families, and we'll stand in solidarity with you.
at this time, for our Jewish community who is now celebrating the high holy days, it's so important that we realize in the days of coming up of Yom Kippur that we keep all these soldiers, hostages, and Israeli in our prayers. There is no question that it's an unjust thing, and we need to bring the hostages home. And the rest of the world needs to understand that as long as those hostages are still hostages, there is going to be no peace. That Israel is not going to lay down the arms, and they shouldn't until those hostages are returned. God bless America.
Thank you so very much. And also, we're going to be doing other. Oh, so Commissioner's floor. Sorry, come on. I don't want to.
Mr. Mayor. No, Mr. Mayor, just want to also thank our police department, because we know that during this time of year with the high holidays, that our police department is always front and center. So we thank you so much, and we stand in solidarity with our Jewish community.
And one last thing, we have Haitians and Jews here, and Haiti and Israel have always stood together. Yep. So not only did they stand together by Haiti voted, the deciding vote in the UN, yep. When there was an earthquake in Haiti, Israel was the first one in and last one out. Yep. And now we stand together here on the dais as well.
Thank you. Just to close, there's other aspects in regards to, the remembrance. We're going to do something on our Facebook page as well, the lighting outside and recognizing this October 7th. And like I said, we are one city. I love this city. I love this community. I know we're diverse, but I know we love each other as well. So thank you so very much, everyone. Let's take a picture. Thank you so very much. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
No. We have two announcements. Where's your microphone?
Oh, yep. Here it is. Go ahead.
Tomorrow night, state attorney will be here, right here in North Miami Beach, a representative from the state attorney. I think 6:30. Is that the time?
No, 6 to 7. 6
to 7.
6 to 9? Or?
I think 6:30 to 8, or maybe 6 to 7:30. We're going to find out the time for you. So if you have something that you're questioning, if you have something that's bothering you,
5 to 7.
It's from 5 to 7 tomorrow night, right in the Yes Center. And the second thing is very important. Get out your whites. Saturday night, Centennial, you must RSVP. You must go, because I'm going to be out of town. You have to go to represent me. Don't forget, that's going to be our first breaking, exciting event to start our 100th anniversary. Saturday night, right here. What time? 6. Okay. They're saying 6. If it's wrong, don't blame me. Okay. Wear white and RSVP. And now I make the motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
I think it's at 6:30, actually.
6:30 for the whites.
Yeah, 6:30.